YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
And false stories from phony sites to run circles around major news outlets.
Many people don't know the difference between something real and something created to deceive them.
Open your eyes.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Final warning, if you're not waking up to the climate agenda, then you're not waking up to the New World Order agenda. Far too many people who identify as awake do not understand the climate agenda. They only look at the political paradigm that they are keeping people trapped inside of to create this civil unrest and this civil division and this national divorce, which is on the table. But the climate agenda continues to be the main focus here because the system of control all falls under the climate agenda. They try to tell you, well, it doesn't matter if you're conservative or you're liberal, whatever your politics are, we're all affected by the climate agenda. Well, we all are affected by the climate agenda because this agenda, which will be embodied by both parties, both political parties, is about monitoring, surveillance, control, and that goes as far as your bank account as to what you can and cannot say and where you can and cannot go. And this is very important for people to understand. I will get into this story about pizza. That's right, pizza. Now we can't eat pizza anymore because remember, they want to control our food and water supply. That's why they want to kill off all animals as far as cattle and poultry, etc. They want to kill them off, but not so you could eat them. They just want to get rid of them because it's bad for the climate and they want you to eat bugs. They want you to eat things that they can control and they want to destroy your way of life. The fact that people don't see this is amazing. When we look at the world, we see an angry world, right? In America specifically, we see liberals who hate and loathe Donald Trump. We see conservatives who hate and loathe Joe Biden. If these people would actually use their brain and realize that Biden and Trump are working together and they could actually see that there are wicked people in power, wicked people in control. They only see one political party as wicked. It's all of these people. There are no rules or laws for these people. These people are actors who are creating civil unrest and are here to destroy our way of life and turn us on one another so that they can get the rules implemented that they want. Changing of free speech, removing of arms so citizens can't arm themselves against what they're about to do. And of course, the climate agenda, which I'll get into in a second here. I want to remind everybody, this is probably the last video I'm uploading on this channel for a very long time. So if you like daily content, if you like my content, please subscribe to my other channel now. I cannot implore enough how important it is. As you can see, a lot of my videos are gone. I'm not leaving them up because I'm not risking this channel getting strikes. I'm trying to get people over to my new channel. This video will be gone in a day or two. That channel is where you'll get daily updates and uploads. It's called The End of the Beginning. It's linked below. Click on that link now. Pause the video and subscribe. Otherwise, you're just going to end up floating around, see a video here and there, and you'll say, hey, what happened to you? Well, take the time now to pause it. Whatever you're doing, stop doing it. Unless you're driving a car, that would be extremely dangerous. But whatever you're doing, stop, pause it, subscribe, and we'll continue on with this climate agenda video. And also, please make sure you subscribe to the website at callforanuprising.com. If you can't subscribe to the website, just go over there and click where it says free videos. Put your email in, whatever email you use and you see, and I will make sure you're on the email list where you get updates on where I am, and that way they can't disconnect us. What they're trying to do by eliminating my channels over and over is they're trying to disconnect us from one another. They don't want like-minded people connected. They are afraid of a mutiny on their hands. They're afraid of people becoming awake. They're afraid of us being connected. They want the world connected, obviously, with all these social media companies, but they won't want people like us connected to one another. We're a threat to them. So go over to the website, click free videos, and submit your email. And again, if you haven't joined the website yet, I highly recommend you join the website. There's a lot of great content in the forum that people are posting and sharing. I have exclusive content up over there that everybody should see and needs to see that would be censored here on YouTube. So it's over on the website. I also have my video library. Day by day, I'm uploading all my old content, which was removed off of YouTube over the years, over there, so you'll have an unlimited library of content. that you can watch, you can share with other people. So please do so now. It's $2.99 a month. It's the price of a cup of coffee for the whole month, 10 cents a day, and it's ad-free and it's troll-free. So you'll learn a lot. You'll learn way more over there than you will on Facebook or anywhere else, and you don't have to worry about if the content's going to be removed, at least not yet, of course, until the government passes more bills. And this video I'm covering right here, I found out about it because of Sister Joy, who posted this over on the website. I saw it yesterday. A lot of people have posted since then about it on the website, and I've seen it obviously now blasted in the mainstream media. So thanks to Sister Joy, and thanks to the people who share stuff over there. If you want me to see something, that's the place to post it. And of course, this is about pizza. They love pizza, don't they? Well, we're not talking about that pizza. That's the pizza that got me in trouble in the first place. My very first channel's getting deleted, of course, was exposing something that is now a common term in people's homes about pizza, but I can't say that word because the algorithm reads it and automatically flags you, but you probably all know what I'm talking about. But this story's not about that pizza conspiracy. It's about another one. It's about shutting down restaurants and pizzerias for using wood and coal fires and wood stoves to make pizza, because that's really dangerous to the environment, of course. You could see some of the articles out there, which is extremely hypocritical, of course, as they want to shut down pizzerias and they want to make sure that they're not cooking pizzas on stoves. Yet, if you look at the data out there in regards to the insanity with the liberals and, of course, how hypocritical they are, which is amazing that they get away with all this stuff, because if you actually look at how they live and what they do, they don't follow the rules that they're setting and the examples they're setting. This is on purpose, of course, driving people insane. And then they know that liberal people are so dumb that they'll believe and do whatever they tell them to do so they don't have to prove their case. We saw that with the mask wearing, all the liberal politicians out without masks, constantly being caught on camera, all done by design, of course. They know that liberals will never go, hey, look, the people we're voting for and the people that we love aren't following their own rules. We'll follow the rules, but they don't have to follow the rules. This is what really ends up happening, because these people are very, very dumb people. And in communism, they worship Big Brother. They worship the government, and the government can do no wrong in their eyes. They put God last, government first, because most of them don't believe in God. And you can see from the article here, you have to burn a pizza stove for 849 years to equal 1 year of John Kerry's private jet, yet they're telling us that we can't cook pizza anymore, mainly because they want us to eat the bugs. Here's what's happening in New York.
Some classic New York pizzerias could be forced to dish out thousands of dollars to comply with a proposed rule to lower their carbon emissions.
Fox 5's Antoine Lewis shows us how the changes for coal and wood-fired stoves could affect your favorite pizza joint.
Paulie Gee's in Greenpoint, Brooklyn prides itself on its wood-burning oven. But ovens like this are under fire from the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, as the agency wants pizzeria owners to drastically cut their carbon emissions by 75%. A tough order, says Paulie Gee himself.
They're painting it as this is going to save the world, I think. Okay. And it's not. It's important for the people right around me. I don't want the people right around me to suffer from this smoke. But is the juice worth the squeeze?
In a statement to Fox 5, the DEP says all New Yorkers deserve to breathe healthy air, and wood and coal-fired stoves are among the largest contributors of harmful pollutants in neighborhoods with poor air quality. This common-sense rule, developed with restaurant and environmental justice groups, requires a professional review of whether installing emission controls is feasible. The new rule would apply to pizzerias with coal and wood-fire ovens that were installed prior to 2016. Roughly 100 or so establishments, says the DEP.
So a business will hire an engineer or an architect that will look at their current system to see if it's feasible to reduce the polluting matter to a certain percentage. And if it's not, then they have another option to install perhaps another type of system to reduce some of the pollutants.
Which is what Paulie Gee did by installing an air filter system. He says it wasn't cheap, but at least he's in compliance.
We're not these big evil business owners. I can show you my books, all right? And, if you're going to keep on doing this to us, you're not going to have places like ours.
A waiver will be given to any business where installing an emissions control device is not feasible. A public hearing will be held next month. Any new rule would not go into effect until the end of the summer. Reporting from Brooklyn, Antoine Lewis.
So this story, again, with the climate agenda, is about control. I talked about this months ago on a recently removed channel about how they are preventing people from having fireplaces in their home. We're talking about heat. You could die of hypothermia. You could die of, freezing, all these things that you could die from. Don't worry about it. They don't want you to have heat in their home. Why don't they want you to have wood in your home so you could have a fireplace? Because they can't control that. That's why. They don't want you to be able to live on your own in your home with a fireplace and not have to depend on them for heat, because they want to be able to shut off your heat and shut off your air at their own will. That's why they want you to have these thermostats that are controlled by Wi-Fi. That's why in Canada, they're paying citizens. And again, whenever the government pays you or gives you something for free, be suspicious, because these people do not care for you at all. The only times they ever do that, obviously we just saw it where they were giving out free $100 gift cards and lap dances to people to put poison in their body. But the government will only do these things if there's an agenda behind it. And the agenda behind it is full control. Green energy is about full control. It has nothing to do with the environment. In the history of humanity, we've never heard that fires are bad for human beings, but they're telling us about the air quality, yet they're dumping chemtrails from the sky on us. They're telling about the air quality, yet they're setting fires off and sun shielding and, making people breathe in smoke. All the things that they're doing, it's amazing that they're getting away with it. But they're telling us that having pizza is bad, having a wood-burning stove is bad, and of course having wood in your home is bad, because they can't control those things. They want to control what you eat, what you drink, and they want to control your thermostat. They want to control your car. That's the reason for the green energy agenda. And for people to look at the world in its current state and not realize how wicked these people are and how obsessed with control they are is amazing. It's amazing. They only look at it and they go, well, Donald Trump wants to control our lives and do these things. And then the other side looks and they go, Joe Biden wants to control. They all want to. They all want to. And that's what we're seeing going on now. The green agenda is fully about control. And then this world ends up being like China, where your social credit score is based off of your carbon footprint. For those of you that don't know about your carbon footprint, I will show you clips in a second about what your life's going to look like with all of these control mechanisms put in place. But let's take a look at this crackdown. Big Apple pizza joints could be forced to dish out mounds of dough under a proposed city rule targeting pollutant-spewing coal and wood-fired ovens. It's unbelievable. The New York City Department of Environmental Protection has drafted new rules that would order eateries using the decades-old bakery method to slice carbon emissions by up to 75%. All New Yorkers deserve to breathe healthy air, and wood and coal-fired stoves are among the largest contributors of harmful pollutants in neighborhoods with poor air quality, okay? How these people don't look up and see the fake clouds that are above us, like every day no one's suspicious as to why there's no blue skies anymore, it's always haze, okay? Any effect on our lives, whether it's cancer, whether it's breathing problems, lung problems, respiratory problems, et cetera, is all from these chemtrails that are being dumped and sprayed on us every single day. Nobody looks at it and realizes, hey, look at these things coming from behind the planes. They're like, oh no, it's water vapor coming out. Oh yeah, water vapor doesn't last for a full day in the sky, okay? They're chemtrailing day, they're chemtrailing at night. You wake up with these haze. If you ever are lucky enough to wake up with blue skies and you go, wow, it's beautiful, I'm gonna go to the beach, there's blue skies. By the time you get to the beach, the skies, you see the chemtrails flying above, and then an hour later, you see the sky completely hazed, and everyone's like, oh, it's partly cloudy now, it's no longer a sunny day, but it's still nice out, and they just continue to go about their day. Our government has been poisoning us for quite some time. They've been using geoengineering, they've been weaponizing weather, and they've been pretty much all these diseases that nobody asks questions as to why they exist, like cancer. There wasn't cancer 200 years ago. Why wasn't there cancer 200 years ago? Well, they weren't putting soft metals in our food 200 years ago. You could look at a food label even from 75 years ago, 100 years ago, when processed foods first came out, whether it's a Cheerio label. If you want to look it up compared to what's in the Cheerios today, you'll see dozens of more chemicals. You don't know what these chemicals are. You go, oh, what's diisophyocosine? Oh, I don't know. Oh, when you find out it's a metal. And you don't go, why is there metal in our food? Why all of a sudden are there all these allergies, these kids getting allergies? It's more than just the magic potions that they're giving kids at a young age. It has to do with what they're putting in our food. And they're not just putting in our food and water. They're dumping it from our sky, which is affecting our crops and our water as well. But it's also affecting our skin because we're absorbing it through our skin. But they don't talk about that when it comes to pollutants. They just talk about things that are good for us, like eating meat, poultry, etc. Right? Even crops, they tell us, are bad now. But what's apparently healthy in today's society is eating cockroaches. That's what the celebrities tell us, at least. And there's nothing to be suspicious about. While they're eating caviar and all these other things, they're telling us to eat bugs. Anybody see the correlation here? No, they don't. They don't realize that they are indoctrinating people with this climate agenda, and they're beating it into everyone's heads to destroy our way of life and to have to have full-on control over everything that we do and we say. Here's a look at some of the carbon footprint and what it's really about and why they want to do this in general. Not just about taking pizza away. People see it, they're like, they don't want to take our pizza. They want to take everything away. And they want to monitor you around the clock. And if you speak against the government, just like in China, you will be arrested, your bank account will be put at zero, and you will not be able to leave your home. You'll be locked in. Because remember, it doesn't just go to smart thermostats, it goes to smart security systems and locks, etc. They scare people into, oh, you have the smart security system. No one will be able to break in, right? What do you think all these movies and shows constantly about promoting these true crime shows are? Scaring people into, oh my gosh, they broke into the home. But with a security system that's a smart security system, you won't have to worry about that. And you can get an Alexa, listen in too to make sure Alexa's solving crimes now. All of these stories, as you hear, they're all part of a bigger plan and a bigger agenda. It's about control. It's about surveillance 24/7. And the green agenda is the only way that they will be able to do this. And again, they can point at a boogeyman, even though the boogeyman that they're telling you exists is all being done by them. They're the ones sun shielding. They're the ones manipulating the weather. They have the ability to do this. You could look up Operation Popeye in the Vietnam War when they were causing monsoons. They could stop droughts if they wanted to stop droughts in today's world. They don't want to stop droughts. They want droughts. They want water supply to dry up. They want you dependent on them, okay, so that they can control you and mold you and create you into the super army that they want to create. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you some stuff with the carbon footprint. Whether it's the carbon credit card or whether it's a home controlled by smart devices or the 15-minute cities, all these things tie together into a lifestyle change that is about control, control, control.
We're developing, through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
In 2018, the United Nations released an urgent report emphasizing the need to cut carbon emissions in half by 2030 in order to avoid an irreversible climate crisis. The average consumer in Sweden causes around 10 tons of carbon emissions each year, of which 60% is linked to consumption. Later in 2018, Doconomy, a Swedish fintech, took on the challenge and launched Do, a mobile banking service for everyday climate action. The Do app is connected to a credit card that enables users to track and measure their carbon footprint from each purchase and to compensate for its impact day by day. This spring, Doconomy took its fight against climate change one step further by adding a premium credit card to its offer. But instead of introducing a premium credit card with the typical benefits that encourages further mass consumption, Doconomy did the opposite by launching Do Black, the world's first credit card with a carbon limit. Simply put, it's the first credit card ever to stop you from overspending. Not based on your available funds, but rather on the levels of CO2 emissions caused by your consumption. Do Black helps you track your climate impact and ensures that you reduce it by 50% in line with the UN 2030 recommendation.
The core purpose of Do Black is not only the ability to measure the impact of your consumption, but also bringing it to a direct halt, making it a radical tool against climate change.
For years, credit cards have put a limit on our credit. Do Black puts a limit on our impact.
A very important point that you are addressing. My daughter, 24, inspired me and said, Dad, how can you advocate for these zero carbon value chains if you still eat meat? And so I stopped eating meat. Now the math would say, well, you need to stop eating meat 11 years to compensate for a flight to Thailand. Yes, but if 1 billion people stop eating meat, I tell you it has a big impact. Not only does it have a big impact on the current food system, but it will also inspire innovation of food systems. And I predict that we will have proteins not coming from meat in the future. They will probably taste even better. So why are we trying to mimic meat if we can have a better taste? They will be zero carbon and much healthier than the kind of food that we eat today. That is a mission that we need to get on. I can inspire you to maybe look at an organization called EAT, easy to remember, EAT, who have all the facts on this and who have the policies necessary, the innovations necessary, and the scale necessary in order to make food systems sustainable and healthy.
Thank you so much, Jim. And you're right, EAT is really a great foundation. You should all really look it up and if you have time.
This is a pioneering neighborhood in Germany. Solar panels, green roofs, pedestrianised streets for children and low-energy housing. Built at the turn of the century, the eco-district of Vauban is now home to around 6,000 inhabitants. Astrid Meyer lives in one of the 48 Energy Plus houses on site.
La maison est construite de manière à garder la chaleur. Une fois qu'il y a de la chaleur dans la maison, on ne la perd pas puisqu'il y a un triple vitrage, il y a 40 cm d'isolation, donc la chaleur ne peut pas sortir.
These homes produce more energy than they expend, an exemplary case that the European Union would like to see developed elsewhere. Buildings are responsible for 40% of Europe's total energy consumption. Some 75% of buildings are considered energy inefficient. To address this issue, the new law will encourage the renovation of existing buildings, promoting the use of smart technologies such as automation and control systems that will enable buildings to operate efficiently. In Copenhagen, this residential building constructed at the end of the 19th century has just been renovated. With insulation of the exterior walls, new windows, and an efficient ventilation system, it now consumes 4 times less energy.
I think it's a really good example. We have in Denmark for decades been renovating our houses, our apartments, because we need to lower our energy consumption.
All major renovations and new buildings will be required to integrate recharge stations for electric vehicles. Energy performance ratings of buildings will be standardized across the European Union. This will help optimize energy consumption levels.
We have now given member states the toolbox how to make their apartments, their houses more energy efficient for the future.
So that's the nightmare that they're trying to create. The liberals will tell you it's utopia because they'll feel safe and protected because they'll be like, oh, my house is fully monitored by the government. I don't have to worry anymore. That's how dumb they are. Even though the government's the ones that's creating the boogeyman and the one that's doing all this stuff in today's society. They're the ones who are kidnapping children and doing all these scary things that we all think the guy next door is doing. The government's doing it. The government's putting fentanyl on the streets. The government's, killing young children. I mean, I can't say in detail here. I can on the website, but everybody out there should have an idea of what's going on. So Pete says this is the latest target of the climate agenda until it gets to a point where they tell you, well, the climate's not affected if you eat snails and you eat ticks and you eat cockroaches and mosquitoes, et cetera, et cetera. That's safe, apparently. They haven't found any science around that. And what's amazing about this is you get in arguments with these people at the climate agenda. They have no idea what's going on. They just repeat what they hear in the news. They just repeat what they hear on these fake science shows they put out there. And you're just like, do you see it with your own eyes? And they're like, yeah, I do. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't see anything going on. In the East Coast, it's been in the 60s and 70s. We're hitting July. Oh, what happened to global warming? Oh, now it's climate change, right? I thought, and they're telling us it's so hot and all this other stuff. Yeah, it's in the 60s and low 70s in July, hitting July pretty soon on the East Coast and all over the country, right? They just make it up as they go. Nobody pays attention. They're too distracted with nonsense. They're trying to figure out if men could have babies. It's an insane world. It's a mad, mad world of dumb, dumb, dumb people. We call them stu-nuts, okay? That's what we call them. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't yet, make sure you pause the video and subscribe to my other channel. This is the last time I'm uploading on this channel for quite some time, unless it's an update on where I am. Other than that, there will be no videos up. This video is only going to be up for a day or two. You'll be able to find this video on the website along with other videos, but I recommend you share if you find it important or anything in here that you want to share with people about the climate agenda. But make sure you sub to the other channel and join the website if you haven't. At the very least, sign up for the free videos over there. I thank everyone for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families.